Hi, I am Prashant Kumar.
Department of Computer Science and Engineering, MS Engineering College, Bangalore. Welcome to all of you in this video, Intermediate Code Generation. This is another phase of compiler. In the previous video, we have seen few analysis phases. Now we are checking what is a intermediate code generation phase of the compiler. In intermediate code generation, in this phase, the compiler will produce an intermediate representation of the input program. Intermediate codes are machine independent code, but they are close to machine instruction. So it is clear that the intermediate code is not depends on any machine. The features is fully independent of the machine, but which is similar to our machine instruction. And why we using intermediate code generation? Because source program is written in high level language, which is not similar to the machine instruction. So after analyzing few things of that source code, converting that source code into an intermediate representation of the source program, and which is similar to the machine instruction. The given program in a source language is converted to an equivalent program in an intermediate language by the intermediate code generator. The intermediate language can be many different languages, and the designer of the compiler decides this intermediate language. We will see that what are the available intermediate representations. Few we will discuss how we can form intermediate code in that particular language, where we will place intermediate code generator. So after semantic analysis, so static chakra will come in the semantic analysis phase. So it begin with syntax lexical analyzer. After that, parser will come. The next phase is semantic analysis. So in the previous video, we have seen the semantic analysis by doing syntax directed translations along with the parsing. These all are checking whether the source program is grammatically, semantically correct or not. Then after performing all these three checking, then the source program is fed into intermediate code generator. Intermediate code generator will convert that source program into an intermediate code of the source program, and that would be the input to the subsequent phases of the compiler. And what is the advantage of forming intermediate code? One is retargeting is facilitated. Like once the intermediate code generation is over, we know that this is machine independent, and we can use this intermediate code for producing the machine code for a particular architecture or a particular machine. The same intermediate code we can use for n number of machines. That is what we call retargeting. Even without doing other analysis, we can start to generate the object code. Since this intermediate code is a machine independent code, we can apply n number of code optimization in order to optimize the code. Then the type of intermediate codes, either one we can use it for representing our intermediate code of the source program. So few are postfix. Postfix notation can be used as an intermediate language. Syntax tree can be used as another representation of the intermediate language. 3 address code is the third one that also we can use, and 3 address code is more similar to our machine instruction, and we will study more about 3 address code. And all these three are equivalent to each other. Syntax tree is a tree which we constructed by doing the parsing. That itself is the intermediate representation of the source program, and its another notation is postfix notation or prefix notation. And from the syntax tree itself, we will construct 3 address code. And how we will represent 3 address code? We will use quadruple representation, and quadruple we will discuss later. These quadruples are close to the machine instruction. That's why we are representing 3 address code as a quadruple. Some of the well-known programming language have their own intermediate representation, like Java has a object representation, object code representation, and object Java virtual machine will use to convert this object code into machine code. And Java object code is a machine independent intermediate representation, and by using any Java virtual machine, we can convert this Java intermediate code into object code corresponding to the underlying machine. Prolog also has another intermediate code representation that is called var and abstract machine representation. Depends upon the different languages, they have their own intermediate representation. Then what is called 3 address code, and we will discuss more about 3 address code. 3 address code or quadruple, both are interchangeably we can use it. A 3 address code, why we call it as a 3 address code? Because this instruction maximum contains 3 addresses. For example, one instruction in the quadruple representation is this x is equal to y op z, where op is a operation code, the operation to be performed between y and z, and the result obtained after performing the operation by using the operand y and z, the result will be stored in x, where x, y, z's are names, that is address or constant or compile generated temporaries. Op is a operand. And why it is called a quadruple? Because here we have 4 units, 4 items, x, y, operator and z, 3 addresses and 1 operation. But we may also following notations of quadruple, much better notation, because it look like a machine instruction. Look at, see, this is also quadruple and this is a better notations. Just for similarity of the machine code, we are using the quadruple representation as op y comma z comma x. So it is nothing but y and z are operand to the operator op, and after performing the operation the result will be stored in x. Apply operator op to y and z and store the result into x. This is exactly equal to x is equal to y op z. We use the term 3 address code because each statement usually contains 3 addresses, 2 for operand, 1 for result. And few 3 address code statement we can see. One is binary operator op y and z, because it's a binary operator, 2 operand is required, y and z are the operators separated by comma, and the result after performing the binary operation stored in the result. Or in another way I can say result is equal to y of z. For example, add a, b, c, so add a and b and result stored in c. Okay, then another unary operator. Here we need only one operand, operator is op, and y is the first one operand and there is no second operand, that's why but we will write comma, and result will be stored in result equal to op y. Unary minus a comma comma c. Then move operator, move y result, it's an assignment operator, like we will move the content of y into result, move a comma comma c, result equal to y is assignment operator. Unconditional jump, jmp comma comma l, where l is the destination. It's another way we can represent go to l. Look at here, jump comma comma l1, unconditional jumping without any condition, jump to the location l. The location is labeled by using the label l. Okay, then conditional jumping, look at here, jump relational operator, y z l. Also apply the relational operator between y and z. If the condition satisfy, jump to this location. If y relational operator is set, then go to l. Look at here, jump greater than y comma z, y is greater than z, then jump to l1. So few instructions, you can see that. Then how we can represent functions, function calling, function definition, etc. in 3 address form. First we need to tell what are the parameter we are using in function. Look at parameter x, or we can write parameter x. Here there is no second operator, that is why we are putting blank in between 2 comma. Procedure call, how we can call a procedure, call p comma n comma. Here there is no result, that's why. Look at what is p. P is the procedure name and n is the number of parameter using, that means call p comma n. See, this is one example here. First one is parameter x1 comma comma, parameter x2 comma comma, etc etc. That means we are using n number of parameter and its name is x1 x2 etc xn. And finally function call p comma n comma. So this is the way in high level language we will use the function call p within bracket x1 x2 etc xn, where we know that x1 x2 etc xn are parameter, that is we are sending to called function. This is the way to define the function calling. Yeah, one example also we can see here. Then index assignment, how we will represent in 3 address code index assignment, array indexing etc. Move y within bracket I comma comma x, where we have to move the content of y of I into x, where x is the result, where y of I is the indexed array, y is the indexed array and I is the index. Then move x comma y of I, here we are moving x into content of array. The next one is how we can use address and pointer assignment. Move address y comma comma x, that means x is equal to address of y. Move address y x, that means address of y is moved into x. Then move content of y comma comma x, that means move the content of y into x, that is why the star. Here is the pointer, this is the address. Now, this is one example how we can use our syntax directed definition into 3 address code. Here we have defined the corresponding syntax directed definition plus the 3 address code generation functions, and this is the meaning of what is s.code e.place. This is one example, you can see that. See, we have seen more about 3 address code, few 3 address statement also we have seen how we will write 3 address statement, and next topic is how we will represent in memory the 3 address code. There are 3 representation we have. One is quadruple, second one is triple, and third one is indirect triples. Let us see, this is our one example, one expression, and with the help of this expression I will explain what is its quadruple representation, what is its triple representation, and what is its indirect triple representation. This expression is represented in syntax tree. You can see this one. This is the syntax tree of the expression, where a equal to plus star b minus c, then plus b minus c. So if you do depth first visit on the node, then you will get this exact expression. First we will visit a, then we will visit b, a equal to b minus c plus b minus c, that is the expression. And this one is, the middle one is the 3 address code of the above expression, and this 3 address code very easily we can generate with the help of syntax tree. Look at here, first one is, we know that this is the first one we need to perform. T1 is equal to minus c, then T2 equal to, well, what is T1, T2 etc. It is a temporary variables generated by the compiler. T1 is equal to minus c, then T2 is equal to b star T1, that is what this subtree, then T3 is equal to minus c, this subtree, and T4 is equal to b star T3, so that is this subtree, okay, b star minus c, so that is what this one, and the value is stored into T4, here the value is stored into T2. Then what is T5? T5 is T2 plus T4, so add this one plus this one, okay. The last, the value obtained in the subtree is assigned to a, that is a equal to T5. Okay, this is the 3 address code of the above expression, and this is the syntax tree of the above expression. And this 3 address code, how we will implement, how we will store in the memory, we can see that this is called quadruple representation. In quadruple there are 4 columns, okay, that means each 3 address code is represented as a records, and that record contains 4 fields. And what are the fields it has? The first field is operation code, second and thirds are operands, argument 1, argument 2, and last one is the result. So the first instruction is T1 is equal to minus c, that is the first 3 address code, so that is stored in the location 0, minus is the operation code, unary minus, c is the operand, and finally result is stored into T1. Then T2 is equal to b star T1, so stored in the location 1, star is the operation, first operand b, second operand is T1, and result is stored in T2, and this instruction is fully stored in 1. Similarly, minus c T3, star b T3 T4 plus. So this is the quadruple representation of this 3 address code, and this quadruple representation we can use to implement in the system. The first column is, first field is opcode, second and third are operands, and the last one is result. So total of 4 fields. That is why we call it as a quadruple. Yeah. Okay. Then what is the triple? Triple representation of the above expression, same expression, and this is the our syntax tree. We already understood syntax tree. And what is the triple representation? Why it is called triple? Because it has only 3 fields. It is also stored in a records wise. So each instruction is stored as a record. 3 fields we will use. First field is opcode, second and thirds are arguments. There is no field for storing the result. So what we will do, we will use the pointer or the location. Instead of using name, we will use the location itself as the reference, and 0th location contain -c, and first location contains star b n. What is this within bracket c? Within bracket c means it's a pointer to this location. That means star b, then location contains -c. So it is stored in 1. Then here -c stored in 2. Then fourth instruction is, fourth triple is star b2. So 2.2. Then fourth one is plus 1 and 3. 1 is this one, 3 is this one. So you will get this instruction. Then finally equal to a4. So the result in the location 4 is stored into a. This is the triple. What we did here is we have removed the result, explicit result field is to store. Instead of that, we are using pointer to refer the location. So by doing this, we can save memory. What is the advantage is we can save memory. And what is the disadvantage? Disadvantage is by doing this one, we will store a lot of pointers, and because of this pointer, if any instruction, any triple we are moving, then subsequent instructions also we need to check whether that instruction is referring the triple, and if it is referring, then we need to address we need to change the address. For example, here look at here, this triple, here this triple referring location 1 and location 2. Suppose we are changing this instruction into this location into some other location. For sixth location we are using for storing the first the instruction in the first location. Then here also we need to change. So because this fourth instruction in the fourth location is referring instruction in the first location, instruction in the third location. So the movement of records is difficult in the case of triples. The next one, indirect triple. In indirect triple also we can see here same expression, same parse tree, so same syntax tree. Then in indirect triple we will use one more table where this table we will use frequently for referring triple. Okay, indirect triple you can use only when you have a triple. This is our previous triple itself, and you know that the second table, 0th location contain our instruction -c, and first location contain instruction star b. That means see the 36th memory location we will store the pointer to the triple 1. 37th memory location we will store the pointer to the triple 2, triple in the location 2. And whenever we need to use this triple, what we will use this indirect triple, and this indirect triple will point to the actual triple, and by using that pointer we can refer direct. And here again we can save it, because if you are frequently using triple and changing one instruction, will lot of pointer we need to change. Instead of that, we can remove that such things by referring this entire triple. These are the 3 representation of a 3 address code. 3 representation why we will represent in the memory, actual why we will store in the memory. That is what this 3 representation telling: quadruple, triple and indirect triple. And thank you for watching this video, and we will see you again with a new video.